What's going on, Mr. Richards? How are you?
You got to unmute.
You got to unmute.
Is that better?
There we go.
Perfect.
There we go. Live and kicking. How are you guys? You good?
Spider, good morning, bro. Well, it's afternoon out there. How are you, bro?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm good.
When we going for some more sushi?
As soon as I'm back over, I might come back over after this fight.
Nah, bruh. Nah. I want my $40. I don't care if it wasn't you. That's your man's in them.
I told you not to clear that. I made sure I paid.
Yo, next time he come to America, I'ma tackle his big ass, bro. What?
You should have wrestled him. You should never let him slide. You should have made sure.
Man.
I told him to give you the 40 before he leaves. Didn't he settle it?
He G-checked Ness is what happened.
he robbed me so he could tell people in the UK he punked an American.
Don't worry, I'm gonna take him some food when I come back over to clear his problem.
So Craig, man, obviously you seen Saturday's fight, man. I know you got your fight, but you had to been chomping at the bit like, fuck, man. Like, I did better than Canelo.
Yeah, 100%. You know what? I always knew Canelo was good. I'm just glad the public seen how good he was. I think, like, before, everyone was talking about how good Bivol was. And in the way, obviously, me and him had such a close fight, half a round in it, everyone then dismissed how good he was rather than gave me the credit. But then I think you can't dismiss his ability when he beats the likes of Canelo.
Mm-hmm. What were you thinking to yourself watching that?
I thought, wow, yeah, he is as good as I thought he was. He's brilliant. Like, as I said to everyone before, he's got very fast hands, good feet. And I believe if you ain't got a good jab, good feet, then you're going to be in no man's land with him because he's a very good fighter. Obviously, I had the assets to keep up with him, but it showed Canelo clearly didn't got frustrated because he's got a good defense as well. And I was just thinking he boxed a perfect game plan as well. I'd say, like, he stuck to his game plan. He stayed very disciplined, never got flustered like other people when Canelo starts loading up. I was impressed with him.
So watching that, man, hearing Bivol now say like that he wants to come down to 68 and challenge for Canelo's titles. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think he should do it. That either way, that way, if he does it in, like, I don't know, August, September, he goes and boxes in September, the time we finished with our winner, we're ready to go I'm ready to go for the WBA after, obviously, I win, God willing, 21st. Then back in, we can go fight for that super WBA world title, me and Bivol at light heavyweight, then we know where we're at, you know, rather than Canelo trying his luck again at 175, which you can see he's not big enough for the weight. Give Bivol the opportunity now to fight for your titles. He gave you the opportunity to fight for his. Give him the opportunity to fight for yours now.
Craig, I got to ask because we have seen it, not something that's happens often, but if Bivol comes down to 68, what would your thoughts be on his belt being on the line as well? We saw that in the Gervonta Davis-Leo Santa Cruz fight where the fight was at 30, but the belt at 30 and 35 was on the line. What do you think about that? Should Canelo's undisputed, obviously if they fight at 68, his undisputed will be on the line, but should Bivol's title be on the line as well?
I think unless they do it at a catch weight, 172, 173 or something like that, then put all the belts on the line.
But you can't do that because now you're over the super middleweight limit. Now you're over the limit, so you can't, win those super middleweight titles. So that's how they did it for Gervonta and Leo Santa Cruz. They did the fight at 30. Leo had a belt at 30. Tank had the regular BA at 35, and both belts were on the line. So if that is the case, would you be opposed or against, or what are your thoughts on Bivol's belt at 75 being on the line if the fight's at 68?
I won't be completely against it, but I would be a bit. I think that he didn't put he's just put his gold up for grabs for the last fight. So now flip the script and you put your gold up, because it's not like it's just one fight, winner takes all. You're having two fights. You had the opportunity at my weight. Give me the opportunity at your weight. You come short. I kept my belt. Now I'll come to 168 and challenge for your belt. And then if I win, then I get the belts. If I don't, I come short. I'll go back to my weights and we get on with our career. You got your titles at 168. I got my title at 175, and we can crack on down our path to say, all right, look, I was better man at my weight. You're the better at your weight. Let's continue being champions in our own weight. It's not fair if a man's put he's on the line twice and you've only put it on once in two fights. take one turn each.
Dimitri Bivol made it clear that he will gladly give Canelo a rematch, and he should after that performance, right? Because he looked great. But he said he'll give him a rematch, but he says he wants respect. Obviously, he wants to be paid properly. He
doesn't want to come out first.
You know, as a champion, wants to come out second. You know, as champions do in the sport. I'm sure that he wants. He is on record stating actually that he wants his home country to be recognized of Kyrgyzstan, and he said that he found it disrespectful that they introduced him from Indio, California, and not from Kyrgyzstan where he was born. So wouldn't Bivol and Canelo's belts, undisputed at 68, one of the belts at 75, wouldn't all of those together bring in more money for Dimitri Bivol, especially coming off the upset win?
I think a unification. I think the undisputed at 168 brings in enough money because I think like he deserves the respect now anyway. I think in the second fight you got to give him that respect. He's come in, he's took all the challenges, the B-side stuff, everything went on that negotiations. He sat back, he took it. Money wise, even walking first, the publicity, the promo, people was talking about Canelo's next fight being Golovkin. Then when he comes back to light heavyweight to unify, they dismissed him. He's gone out and showed a brilliant performance, winning in style as well. I think at this point now, I think you're gonna give man a breakthrough. I think now give him the opportunity, give him good money, put him on a big show, let him be recognized. And then if he's going to walk first, which they probably do again, then don't put his belt on the line and put all Canelo's undisputed titles on the line. I think that's only fair for him to then say, look, we're giving you something for your good win.
There we go. Now I'm curious because I'm seeing people here in the chat and just myself included. They're saying, well, if Bivol went down, they saw you in the fight against Bivol. Could you go down? Could you go down for a fight at 68 if it's, you know, if it makes financial sense and sense for your career as well?
I started off at super middleweight in my career when I first turned professional. My first 10 fights I actually done at super middleweight. I won my first area title at super middleweight, but I just felt like I was losing a lot of my assets, my punch power, and a lot of things early in my career. I wasn't really getting the knockouts at super middleweight. I was just winning a lot of them on points. Every time I was knocking them out is every time I fought at a catch weight just above super middleweight. And that's when I realized light heavyweight was clearly my natural power. As an amateur, I was light heavyweight. So I came back up to light heavyweight, and that's when I started getting my knockouts and stuff again, all at light heavyweight. So I think light heavyweight is definitely my comfortable weight. I can perform as I was like 10-0 at super middleweight. I can perform at super middleweight, but I'm more comfortable at light heavyweights. Unless the opportunity was absolutely massive, then I'll probably just stick at light heavyweight.
Ness?
So Craig, man, when you were out here, you was telling us about the sparring and how you enjoyed it. But obviously this training camp, none of that, no American sparring, right? Or did you fly someone out?
Nah, I've just mixed up with all the options I had over in the UK. I've had no American sparring. It's all been the UK-based sparring since I've been here. And I'm just making use of the resources I got here, really.
Do you know if Buatsi came to the Bay Area with Verge, or did he train out there?
No, I know he was in America. He didn't train here. He definitely trained on his camp in the US. And I think he flew a few of the UK fighters over to the US to help him out as well, I think, which is surprising because I know there's a lot of good work in America. I would have just used the resources I had out there if I was him. But I think he tried to use a lot of the UK sources to make himself comfortable in the camp over there.
For sure, for sure. So who did you use to get prepared for this fight?
Different sparring partners, really. I started off with a few cruiserweights like the European, British and Commonwealth champion, Crispin and Smith. We got a few rounds and a few other good cruiserweights, a few super middleweights as well. We just use like different sizes for speed and power. You know, like light heavyweights a weight was not just about power or not just about speed. It's a mixture between both. So I like to get the balance in my camps where I threw in like a super middleweight for a few rounds and then a cruiserweight for a few rounds. And I like to get a good combination of everything.
For sure, man. So who's your trainer?
Peter Sims.
Peter Sims?
Yeah, Peter Sims.
How long have you guys been together?
Well, coming up 7 years now, which is, I turned pro with him. I turned professional with him. He signed me from the amateurs, and I've been with him ever since.
Oh wow. So you're definitely comfortable.
Yeah, yeah, and we've grown, our training's grown over the years. You know, we've moved gym. We've joined over to the Matchroom gym about 3 years ago. We joined with Tony Sims, his brother, um, with the rest of the boys, all Connor Ben, Joe Cordina, John Ryder, etc. And we all joined to one gym. So we all train together now for the last 3, 4 years now. And we've just been pushing on and pushing on. Obviously, it's better because the at first Peter had his own fighters. He got rid of the fighters he didn't feel was good enough or going to get to world level. So it was just me left in the gym for a period of time training, and had the gym just me and him. So we've ended up moving over to the Matchroom gym with his brother Tony Sims and the rest of the boys. And since then, we've just been pushing on, and training's getting harder and harder each camp. And I'm leveling up every camp. You're seeing by my numbers, better PBs, and my strength, my runs, and my sparring's getting better. So it's improvements every camp.
So Peter Sims is Tony Sims' brother.
Yeah, Peter Sims is Tony Sims' brother. Yeah.
So would you say you're the most popular fighter Peter has?
Yeah, 100%. I'm the only fight now Peter's got.
Mm.
Yeah,
So do you feel pressure?
Nah, not really.
Really?
It's always pressure to deliver in your career, because it's like you don't want to let them down. You want to, obviously, but you don't want to let yourself down at the same time. So professional boxing at this level is going to be pressure regardless. You got a lot of people banking on you, your fans, your team, your family, your promoter. Everyone's looking at you as to perform every time you go out. So there's always pressure. Then there's pressure on yourself because you want to enhance your own career. You don't want the journey to end there. You like every time it's getting better and better and better, and you can taste what's next. You want to feel it, that you want to taste that, you want to move on to the next stage. And it's like snakes and ladders. Like you keep going up, you don't want to drop on that snake and go back down the board to rebuild. You want to keep moving forward. So there's pressure. Professional boxing, that's what it is. It's not like amateurs. You go on Saturday, you lose, and you go back next Saturday. Professional boxing, every win counts.
For sure, man. I got a few questions from the people. They knew you were coming on the show. First one is coming from Mr. Adore. He says, Dimitri Bivol mentioned he wasn't motivated for this fight with you. Did you notice anything different with Bivol against Canelo versus you when he fought you? Thanks for offering up your time for the show. Appreciate it.
Well, I don't know if Bivol just says that now, because when we was in there, he said he definitely wasn't underlooking me. He knew I was awkward. He said I've got a good jab, good footwork, and I'm an awkward boxer. So he said that he was not overlooking me at all. And in the fight, I mean, I've heard someone say before, "Oh, I don't believe Bivol went through the gears." But if you look at the fight with myself and Bivol, when he got to round 10, 11, and 12, when I was pressing him hard, he was getting tired in them later rounds. If you even watch the fight in 11 and 12, he's holding on to me in the late rounds. Couple times where I'm trying to get him off to get back to work. But if you watch all of his previous fights, when he would watch Joe Smith Jr., when he had boxed Sullivan Barrera and stopped him in the 12th, even when he boxed Canelo, he always finishes the fight strong. And if you look at when he fought my fight, he was tired in the later rounds from the thinking game, the IQ and the footwork pressure. And also, if you look at his face after my fight, how he was marked up, he didn't have a mark on him when he fought Canelo. So I don't know if people want to ignore the fact that I pressed him a lot more than the others did. It's because of when you're looking at status, you're looking at a superstar like Canelo, and you're looking at myself, you don't want to give me the credit. You don't want to say, right, he just performed. You want to make some sort of excuse of why I performed the way I performed compared to the guys who's your favorites.
For sure. And that's what it seems.
I like how you said that. Compared to the guys that's your favorites. I like that. Because it's true. It's definitely true.
So obviously, Buatsi is a darling over there. There was a lot of, I guess, hype for him and Anthony Yard, and there still is. So I say all that to say that you're sacrificial. You do know that.
Not really. I think like if this was 3 years ago, yes, it would have been. But the thing is, it was about 3 years ago. I was mandatory for his title. For the British title when he had it, but he wanted to defend it because you got to defend it 3 times to win it outright. But he decided to push on, and the fight was ordered by the board. But then he ended up vacating, and I fought someone else for the British title and stopped him instead. And we get to the point of, if you look at Buatsi's career, It was, when is he eventually going to step up, kind of thing. He's boxing. They've been ranting about him since he's turned pro, saying he's going to be the next big thing. He's going to be this, he's going to be that. But he was yet to deliver what was spoken about him when he turned pro. But I think he's at the point of his career. It's a crossroad. It's like, well, we need to now see how good he is. Is he what everyone's been banging on about, or is he not? So it's a sink or swim crossroad fight for him.
But that's the point I'm making. That's the point I'm making, because the pressure is on you. Because it, like you said, if you don't prove that he's a hype job, he just keeps trucking forward.
But if I do prove he's a hype job, he doesn't chuck forward. So
that's why I said the pressure's on you, champ.
Well,
you got to stop him. I think, and I don't mean stop physically. I mean, you got to stop his hype train. I don't think the pressure's on him because he's supposed to win. Like, you think there was pressure on Canelo as a favorite? You supposed to win. We think you winning already.
That's more pressure. When you're expected to win, there's more pressure if you're not expected to win. See, like, you go into a fight as the underdog. This is why I've been an underdog in loads of my fights. When I knocked out Jake Bull, Jake Bull was the Buatsi then. He was the GB boy. He boxed for the Olympic team, and he was Eddie's golden boy. So Eddie told him to call me out after one of my shows, and he tweeted me saying, "Just so you get a good second round knockout of your fight, champ, how about we get it on for my belt?" He was the champion. I was just moved up to light heavyweight. So that was the same thing. It was a crossroads there, and I went in there, knocked him out within 3, dropped him every round, stopped him within 3 rounds, and that was the end of his. No one heard about Jake Bull ever again. I don't think he really boxed after that no more. That was him. So when I boxed Shakan Pitters, I had to go onto another TV network to box Shakan Pitters, which is risky. Coming off your own show, going to the next man's backyard to go and fight him for a title because they won the purse bids. It was a risky crossroads again. I was the underdog in all the bookies again. He was 14-0, won 2 belts at the time or something, and a tournament. And I went out there, knocked him out in the 9th round, underdog again. When I boxed my first title, the guy was 12-0, 6 knockouts. I was only 6, 7 fights in. I went and took his title. I was a massive underdog in the bookies again. He was the favorite again. So for me, I've been here multiple times. They say that he's the favorite, and I've gone in there and pulled, as they call, the upset. It's not an upset because people's opinion doesn't matter, and what people's plans for someone doesn't matter. What it is the opportunity is there for me. That's all I got to look at. Is there an opportunity there for me? And is there a chance for me to make good money and move forward in my career? Yes, sign me up. I don't care what you think. Like, if you're putting this fight towards me and you want me to win, lose, draw, it doesn't matter. All I've got to know is, can I win this and can I move forward in my career? That's it.
So what is it about Buatsi that has you believing you'll be the one to stop the train?
It's nothing personally about Buatsi. I don't look at it like, oh, Buatsi, what's it about him? It's just, he's another fighter. I looked at him fighting. I'm like, yeah, I can beat this guy.
All right, but that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. What is it about him? You said you looked at him, you know you can beat him. What did you see? Mikey seen something too.
Yeah, it's not one particular thing. There's things I've seen and I've watched him. I've known him for years. I've watched him as an amateur. He was tremendous over that 3 rounds. He was a very good fighter. He knew what he was doing over them 3 rounds. That was him. But I just feel like as a professional, I've grown better as a professional. I've had the more telling tests. I've been in the deep end. I've learnt my craft and I'm improving. And I feel like he's kind of been plateaued for a while. And I feel he knows he's been plateaued for a while. And that's why he looked for a new trainer. He's looking for new ideas to see how he can improve. But I'm there. I'm ready to go, and I'm only getting better as well. So I think, yeah, it's my time. It's my time. I reckon I definitely know I can beat him.
So you think the pressure is on him because he's the blue chip prospect?
Yeah, of course it is. He's the one expecting to deliver all the time. You know, he's the guy who was tipped to be this massive star. Like when he turned pro, when he finished the Olympics, all the people wanted to sign him, from Floyd Mayweather to Eddie to Frank Warren. Everyone was offering him contracts. So Eddie put the money up for him. So it was like, right, this is going to be the next big thing. And it's like, I don't know if they're getting what they want out of him. So he's at the point like, look, we need to see something now. And it's just like, oh, another opportunity for me. Okay, cool. Let's go.
And obviously, you knowing him, do you think he's panned out to what everyone expected?
I don't feel like at the moment, even myself, I can understand where everyone's coming from. He hasn't obviously showed or delivered anything what he's been expected to so far. up to this day. But that doesn't mean he isn't as good as people expect. We just haven't seen anything for him to like be justified this hype they've given him yet. So he might be good. I just don't think he's as good as me, but he might be like number 2 in the UK.
I like that. I like that. But does he have more power? He's on like a 10-fight knockout. I mean, that's more than Crawford, right? Or is Crawford and he tied now?
I'm not sure. Let's see.
I think Crawford was on 9. It might be 10 since the Sean Porter. It might be 10.
Yeah, Buatsi got 10. He's been knocking fools out since his last fight to go to distance was
2018.
Stop right there. The key word was knocking out what?
Oh, I ain't called him nothing. I said he was knocking out these guys.
No, what did you say?
No,
you said knocking out fools.
Oh, knocking out fools,
yeah, you said he's been knocking fools out.
Yeah, knocking fools out. Okay, so you ain't no fool. I get it. But some of these names are not quality, but at least, Reginald Quinlan was an IBO champ. Ryan Ford, he's known in Canada. That's probably where it stops right there. Oh, yeah, he had Perry Bond. He knocked out Michael Antonio Perry Bond. That's not a bad name.
These guys are all good names. They're super middleweights, and they all come on short notice. I'm not on short notice, and I'm not super middleweight. The thing
but
is,
you was a super middleweight.
He was.
How long ago?
Crawford was a lightweight.
How long ago?
4 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
Almost 5. Yeah, the last time you fought, you fought.
And we ate sushi with you, so you definitely a heavyweight.
It's harder for me to make light heavyweight back then when it used to me to make super middleweight. I've grown into the weight a lot. I think I'm a big light heavyweight now, and I've got a lot of punch power. And as I said, I wasn't really knocking people out at super middleweight, only at catchweight. But at light heavyweight, I can get people out of there.
Do you think that you've been in with the tougher opposition because of the Bivol fight?
I think it's not unquestionable. Even outside of the Bivol fight, I've been in with a tougher opposition. When I boxed the British champion, he was unbeaten, 14-0. I beat another kid who was 12-0 early in my career. Another guy in Britain who was buzzing, coming off 2 good wins, 10-0 Sterling. I beat him when he was buzzing. Jake Paul, as I said, he was 12-1. Another champion who was top 5 in Britain when I beat him. So without even the Bivol fight, I already had the better opposition. The Bivol is just really the icing and the cherry on top of whose CV is better.
So do you consider yourself like a fighter that has to prove something? I feel like you've been on the B side a lot, and they forced you to fight a lot of undefeated fighters. Like even Buatsi's undefeated. Bivol was undefeated. Shakan Peters was undefeated. And Andre Sterling was undefeated.
Jake Ball only one loss, and Alan Higgins
was undefeated. So this is what I'm saying. When I came, I didn't have a big amateur pedigree. So when I come, people would see I had skills and stuff, but it was like, I didn't come from the Olympics. I wasn't a GB boy. So it was like, a guy looks talented, but how good really is he? You know what? Let's not waste time. Sink or swim. So I've come up the hard way, like having to prove myself. There was no hype about me. There was no gravy train. I wasn't tipped to do big things. As you said, when you listen to light heavyweights in the UK, my name wasn't in the mix. I wasn't the buzz. I wasn't the investment boy. So what I've done is I earned my position here. I've had to fight my way through here, beating all the golden boys to get to where I am today. So he was tipped to be here, but I had to earn my way here. And now we're at the same position because of what I had to do to get here, not because I was heavily promoted or my amateur pedigree. I'm not taking nothing away from him. I get it. You deserve to be promoted heavily, and when you go to the Olympics or you win a medal in,
or when you sign to AJ.
When you sign to AJ and you've got a medal, what are you going to expect? You're not going to expect them to be like, oh yeah, just watch out for this guy and see how good he does. You've invested in him. You're going to promote him because it's a business. You want to return on your investment. So you want to pump this guy so everyone buys into him so you can get your money back to what you've pumped into him. It's just simple. It's not rocket science. And I don't begrudge him for it. He worked very hard in the amateurs to get to the Olympics. So fair play to him. But now we're here as professionals. You've got to prove yourself as a pro.
Definitely got to prove yourself as a pro. For you coming off, like you're going into this fight next weekend, but Bivol just fought, and I feel like every interview you do, Bivol's gonna come up. Knowing that should you get through Buatsi next weekend, knowing what's ahead of you, Do you feel that that's maybe distracting you a bit, holding you back a bit, hurting you at all? Or do you think that you're totally locked in and you're just using that as extra motivation for next weekend to be able to perform in a spectacular fashion?
It's a bit of everything really, but it's not going to distract me. At the end of the day, that fight with me and Bivol is done. It's not like we got to have a little pre-fight before the Buatsi fight. That's in the past for me. It's what it's done is open the eyes to the public of me more, not myself. I already believed in myself and my skills, but now it's just made the public go, "Wow, that Canelo's actually good." Craig pushed him the hardest. Him and Spider had a close fight. That Spider's actually good. He's actually, now they're like, oh, this Buatsi fight ain't as straightforward as we thought. Oh, this is a 50-50 fight. So it doesn't change my perspective, it changes theirs. I'm still going to the gym every day, working every day and preparing for him for next week on the 21st. Because I said, if I don't perform next week, how my performance was against Bivol is irrelevant. Everyone's going to base my talents and how good I am on next week. And if I come up short, then no one cares about the Bivol fight. So God willing, I get the win, then I'll move on and people can see how good I am. Because remember, the Bivol fight was a year ago. I feel like I've improved since then. So I want to show how good I am again.
But you've only had one fight since that Bivol fight.
Yeah.
And that was in October. Yeah. So you've been out the ring. You'll be out the ring at least 7 months by the time you fight Buatsi. Has that layoff been good for you? Because, like you said, you've been working on different things and you've been able to get better. What exactly has that time off or away from the ring done for you?
Done brilliant, because the thing is with me, although I boxed in October, when I'm out of the ring, I'm not out the gym. Mm-hmm. So even when you saw when I came straight out the ring and I was on my break on my holiday, you saw me, I was in America, I was in the boxing gyms every day anyway. And then I'm at the boxing show. So even on my time,
you sparred David Morrell, right? When you were here,
I don't know if it was Morrell. I sparred a couple.
I know you went to. Cubans. Didn't you go to Salas' gym when you was here?
Yeah, I went to Salas' gym. Yeah, I sparred a few Cubans at Salas' gym. Gomez and another heavyweight. I sparred Cuban heavyweight.
Oh, you sparred Yo Elvis.
Could have been. I can't remember.
Gomez, you said. You said Gomez.
Yeah, Gomez. Yeah.
He's shorter than you, right? By a lot.
Yeah, he's shorter than me.
But he's a little stockier.
Yeah, he's stockier. Yeah.
How was that, bro? Because how was that? He's the new darling, bro. He's 5-0, 5 KOs, and the world thinks he's gonna be, the next guy.
He's already in the WBA rankings, top 10.
Yep, with 5 fights.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
So you ain't even know who you was sparring, huh?
No, they was like, this guy is really good. Get in there with him, and I was like, he looks a bit shorter than me. They're like, no, trust me, he's game. I was like, nah, you got no one bigger. They was like, no, trust me, he's good. I said, I want someone bigger. They started laughing. They said, who do you want? They pointed to the heavyweight. And I said, yeah, I'll take him. They was like, what? And he was like, all right, cool. And they was like, which one do you want? I said, I'll have them both.
Wow.
So I mixed them both in for a few rounds each. But this is me out of camp on holiday.
Yeah.
So you sparred a heavyweight and a super.
2 heavyweights and Yo Elvis.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder what heavyweights are those. That's interesting.
Big guys. Joe Joyce said to me he sparred him as well. He said he's good. He said he sparred him as well while he was over in Salas' gym. So I'm not sure. He's good heavyweight though. It's good work. So I sparred both of them two down at Salas', and then I sparred another kid at the Wildcard gym with Freddie Roach when I got to LA as well. That was good work as well. I sparred over there as well. So I was still getting the rounds in on my vacation.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, I mean, we bumped into you. That was for the Devin Haney fight, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then you flew to LA and watched the Tank fight. So you got work
before that.
New York.
I was in New York and I watched
Teofimo
and Cambosa's fight, and then I was just training in the gyms when I was in New York. I didn't spar anyone. I was just doing some bags and normal training.
What gym you went to out there? Gleason's or Mendez?
No, it's the one that Otte Walling goes, they said.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that's a private gym.
Yeah, it's a private gym. So I went to that gym because I went Gleason's last time I come to New York. So I wanted to try a different gym, different experience. Yeah, so I tried that gym this time.
I got Mr. PBC in Seattle, Washington. He says, I'm a fan of you. I like your uppercut and aggressive jab, but I'm betting on you against broken hand Joshua, but Bivol had your timing and reset you like 30 times that night. But I'm still a fan. Keep pushing, baby. But Bivol is the man. So you did tell me that because, you know, people listening may not know we were having dinner or whenever we were together that time in Vegas, you basically said, like, you felt you could have done more and that if you ever get that fight, you can do better. So you obviously know what you did wrong. Can you tell us what you feel you did wrong? And how would it be different in the Buatsi fight versus the Bivol fight? Is it as simple as, well, he's a world champion and Buatsi is not?
I feel like Bivol is like a better version of him. Buatsi does a lot of good things. Buatsi's got good hand speed at times. He's got a couple good combinations as well. He doesn't have as good footwork as Bivol, but he's got half decent footwork. Bivol, I know I went wrong where I just didn't start earlier. I was scoring the rounds a little bit wrong. And as you saw, I finished the fight, all the last rounds very strong, and I came up a round short or half round on another scorecard short, but it was just I needed to start earlier. That was my problem, just scoring them rounds. Because when I left the ring, the worst feeling is when you know you had more gears to go through and you had loads left in the tank. And should never come out of a world title fight short, knowing you had so much more to give in the ring. That's just the most frustrating thing, knowing you're fresh. I could have went and fought another 4 rounds, and that's not how I should have came out of there. So I definitely wouldn't make the same mistake twice.
So I'm hearing that you feel maybe you gassed or maybe you didn't kick up in the championship rounds?
No, I picked up in the champions round. I won all the championship rounds. I just didn't start earlier between 1 to 6, where I was like a bit like building into the fight and just getting these timing and stuff early. And I was a bit feeling like I was nicking some of the rounds where I probably wasn't nicking some of them. I would come that round short. So I started strong in the back half of the fight. My punch numbers towards from the 6th or 7th onwards compared to 1 to 6 was the difference in the fight. And if I just started a round or two earlier, now I'd be sitting there as world champion, or would have just come off a fight, made a 7th and Cinco de Mayo against Canelo maybe. So that was the difference, really, just starting a lot quicker and not leaving everything in me. I was so fresh when I left the ring and I had more gears to go through, which ain't good.
We have Big Fish Vega in Florida says, what would you say are your biggest strengths in the ring, and what do you see as Buatsi's weaknesses?
I think he's got a few weaknesses. I think my strengths, I've got a good IQ. I read fighters pretty well. Everyone knows I've got like a good jab. I'm quite smart. I think I can be an all-rounder kind of. I can box, I can fight, I can punch. I think I've got a lot of assets.
All right. Well, those are all our questions. Let me refresh in case anyone slid in last minute. But in the meantime, please give out your social media in case anybody isn't following you, can do so. And Mr. Richards, definitely want to thank you for coming on the show. Wishing you the best of luck, baby. You know, if you win, we got to get you in the studio.
100%. When I win, I will definitely be coming to the States at some point anyway in the next month or two. So we'll definitely come over. I'll come over and get in the studio. And then I'll take you for some sushi too.
For sure. But this time, let me know when you land. We got to be with you every time you go to a gym. I want to see that sparring.
100%. You got to come with me next time. 1,000,000%. We definitely got to link up.
Let's do it, Craig.
All right. Well, Craig, man, thank you once again. And
thank you.
You tell Dean White, give me my $40.
Well, I'm gonna tend to transfer it.
Craig, handle business next Saturday, brother.
Before you go, Joe Smith, better be. Who you picking?
Everyone's saying Beterbiev, but I feel like Joe Smith has definitely got a chance because he can punch. We've seen that Beterbiev has been dropped before by Callum Johnson. We know Joe Smith Jr. can punch just as hard as Callum Johnson, if not harder. So I'm definitely putting him with her a chance. Obviously, you can never write off Beterbiev 8-0, 8 KOs, but I definitely think it is actually more of a 50-50 than people anticipate. Maybe a 40-60 too.
Craig, I know there's bigger fish. I know there's bigger fish to fry. Like if you beat, when you beat Buatsi on Saturday, there'll be bigger fish for you to call out. But would you be interested in calling out in the ring Gilberto Zuldo Ramirez? Not big enough for you?
Nah, do you know what it is? Because I'm trying to get a world title. He hasn't got one. It's not really someone. If it was like this, he was my next fight. Like if I didn't have the Buatsi fight, then he would have been a good fight for now. And then before my world title fight. But where I'm having this fight now, the next one is obviously I've been guaranteed a world title after this. So
oh really?
A world champion after this. Yeah. Well, it's eliminated for the winner. We was meant to fight the winner of Canelo-Bivol basically. So I'm definitely gonna want to sit tight for that world title shot after beating Buatsi.
But if hypothetically, if you win, wouldn't that option be a year later? Or could it come sooner?
No, because it will come sooner because what would happen is that Bivol will have one more, which will probably be like September, and I'll probably be looking to fight him like December. So it's like May now, June, July, August, September. It'll be like 5-6 months. About 6 months away.
And what about a David Benavidez who's going to be fighting David Lemieux? I know you're not at 168 no more, but if Canelo's going back down and Benavidez is fighting for an interim, is that someone that you might want to knock off so you can get a shot at Canelo and all the belts at 68?
Nah, I haven't. I'll be honest, I haven't really been paying attention to like these sort of guys.
Oh, you don't know David?
No, I do. I do know David. I watch him as a boxing fan. I watch every boxer like as a show, but as a competitor and competition, I haven't looked at him like, yo, this is a rival. I haven't really put him in the bracket of my rivals. Like currently, I've obviously just looked at Buatsi, main, most important, and obviously pushing on from there. Probably Bivol's in the near future after that. So they're the ones I've kind of concentrated on. All the rest, I haven't really focused too much on, if I'm honest.
Now,
as an opponent.
It looks like as of right this moment, Gilberto Ramirez is ranked above you. Do you foresee this win catapulting you above him? Because I know you said it's for an eliminator, but will that show itself on the rankings?
Well, do you know what? It's funny because see the guy he's fighting, that's who I was meant to be fighting. That's
Dominic?
who I didn't fight. It's Dominic Bozil. That's who my next fight was meant to be. But they was like, well, do you want to fight Buatsi instead of Dominic Bozil? But I was like, well, Dominic Bozil, technically he's number one and he's got the IBO, which was more enticing. But they were saying like, look, if you beat Buatsi, then straight away you'll go straight onto the world title after that. So it's all the same move. So I said, all right, and obviously the Buatsi fight's a bigger fight because he's a bigger name in the UK. Obviously, so it was a bigger purse as well. So I went down that road.
Hell yeah! Now you can buy that mansion over here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got to set out your future at the same time, right?
For sure. Well, Craig, man, I do want to thank you. We're gonna be locked in and tuned in, man. We're invested in you, man. So we wish you the best.
Appreciate that.
I did say that was the last question, but now I got to ask again. Falong Ming is going to be fighting John Pascal in Florida. Did you know?
Oh, is it? No,
you didn't know?
When's that fight?
It's this month.
Oh, wow. I didn't know John Pascal was back.
Yeah, it's actually next weekend.
Yeah, and Paulie Malignaggi,
really?
Antonio Tarver, and Roy Jones will be calling the action. It's on Pro Box.
Oh, that new channel. Oh, it's on that.
$199 a month, cheaper than Dazn. But all right, Craig, just wanted to let you know people were shaking it up in your division, and Falong Ming is number 1 in the IBF. So, just letting you know what's going on. But I want to thank you once again, bro.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
All right.
You guys.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, Craig.
Craig Richards, up-and-coming contender.
Yo, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.